Working in the field, he and his eldest son came across an interesting piece of debris. The pair say they are unsure what it is.
We thought it was garbage, and then after that we got closer and we don't know what it is.
Utah UFO. On January 9th, 2019, Sam Chortek and Jimmy Chappie released UFO footage that had gone unnoticed for over 2 years. The incident happened in October 2016 in Beaver, Utah, not far from Area 51. The two men were filming landscape shots for a documentary and captured hours of footage without realizing anything unusual was in the video. It wasn't until they watched the footage later that night that they saw a small glowing object. The object moved so quickly that it was hard to spot at first, but when they slowed the video down, the strange craft became clear. It seemed to land briefly before disappearing at an incredible speed. Though the footage clearly shows the event, the object remains a mystery. It moved too fast for any known aircraft or animal. The sighting sparked discussion among UFO enthusiasts, with some wondering if it was something out of this world. But, with no further proof, the mystery of the Beaver Utah UFO remains unsolved. Beach fright. People were enjoying their time at the beach when their fun was suddenly interrupted. A black, disc-shaped object appeared in the sky, hovering silently above them. It cast an eerie shadow over the sand, making onlookers uneasy. Some pointed, others stared, and a few ran in fear. The strange craft lingered for a moment as if observing the scene below. Then, just as quickly as it arrived, it zipped away into the distance and disappeared. Sunbathers were left in shock, wondering what they had just witnessed. Alien capture. A leaked video surfaced online showing a strange event deep in the forest. The footage revealed an unusual creature lying on a stretcher. It had a long, oddly shaped head and massive black eyes. Yellow straps secured it in place. This wasn't an ordinary being. It was an alien. Surrounding it were soldiers in uniform, standing guard. Suddenly, the video cut off, leaving behind more questions than answers. It looked like an alien craft had crashed in the forest. Hopefully, the military knew what to do next. Unexpected sighting. In the U.S., a skygazer noticed a massive object with glowing blue lights silently moving over the city. Its sheer size and strange shape left him stunned. It resembled a bow gliding through the air. The more he thought about it, the more he questioned whether he had just seen a UFO. As he watched the craft float above, he wasn't the only one taking notice. Once he uploaded his video online, several others came forward, claiming to have witnessed the exact same thing. Maybe it's time we start reconsidering the existence of extraterrestrial life. Riverbank mystery. A group of friends set out to explore a nearby river, but when they arrived, they stumbled upon something unusual. Scattered in the water were black metal fragments that didn't look like they came from a regular aircraft. Some locals believed the wreckage belonged to a UFO that had crashed there. The campers felt uneasy and weren't sure what to make of it. Not wanting to stay any longer, they quickly left, still wondering what could have caused such a strange accident. Strange roadside encounter. While driving on a quiet road in Mexico, a man noticed something shiny in the sky. It was an oval-shaped object that hung motionless, unaffected by gravity. It wasn't moving like a plane or a balloon. It simply stayed in place. The driver watched closely, trying to make sense of it. The longer he looked, the more convinced he became that he was staring at an alien spacecraft. He couldn't believe he had come across such an unusual sight on a routine drive. Nighttime phenomenon. One evening, a group of locals witnessed a bizarre event in the sky. Without warning, the darkness was illuminated by fast-moving lights. As people gazed upward, they saw what looked like giant twisting branches stretching across the sky. Was this a portal to another world? Or maybe a glimpse of an alien planet? Shocked and uncertain, everyone watched in silence. After a short while, the strange sight faded, and a wave of relief spread through the town. Whatever had just happened, they were glad it was over. Hikers' encounter. Two hikers trekking through the hills came across something they never expected. A large, dark spacecraft floated in the sky. Directly below it, a smaller, oval-shaped object hovered motionlessly. Could it be gathering information about life on Earth? The hikers were filled with questions. One of them, driven by curiosity, stepped closer to get a better look. But, as he did, a chilling realization hit him. It was an alien spaceship. Fear took over, and they quickly decided it was best not to stick around. Secret discovery. Is the government hiding something from us? A hiker filming his adventure on a steep mountain path spotted something that stopped him in his tracks. In the distance, a massive white object stood out against the landscape. "I've made it this far, without them noticing me," he whispered. The more he stared, the more he realized this wasn't part of the scenery. It was something straight out of a sci-fi movie. His heart pounded as he recognized what it was. A UFO. How had it gotten there without being detected? Afraid of being seen, the hiker chose not to stay any longer. Unusual drone footage. A man was testing his drone for the first time when he noticed something odd. A massive black and silver disc was floating in the air, moving in slow circles. It almost seemed like the object was carefully observing Earth, as if it were considering a visit. The spacecraft hovered quietly, and one could only guess if it was on a secret mission, or if aliens were already here. Since the man didn't push his drone higher for a closer look, the true nature of the object remained a mystery. Cuban curiosity. In Havana, Cuba, an unusual event lit up the evening sky in 2019. People looked up and saw a glowing object hovering over the city. It had a distinct shape, almost as if it had wings, and its lower section was spinning on its axis. It seemed like it was sending some kind of signal. To some, it appeared to be a UFO engulfed in flames. Others speculated that it was a new type of technology being tested by the Cuban government. Given the rapid advancements in technology in recent years, that possibility couldn't be ruled out. Sea stranger. In Panama, a UFO decided to take a detour from the usual sky route and glide along the ocean instead. This bizarre flying saucer zipped just above the waves, almost like it was on a cosmic surfing adventure. It flew so low that it looked as if it was checking its reflection in the water. As it moved, the waves beneath it rippled. Who knows? Maybe the oceans serve as secret highways for extraterrestrial travelers. Now, people are left wondering if fish have been spotting little green beings all along. Mystery in Mexico. On July 7, 2024, a small town in Mexico witnessed something extraordinary. A glowing purple object lit up the night sky, moving in ways that defied explanation. It was clear to those watching, it wasn't anything ordinary. The UFO's bright purple beams cut through the darkness, creating an unforgettable display. Even more unsettling, the lights flickered in a way that made people believe it had noticed them. Was it trying to communicate? Was it a warning of something bigger? No one could decode the message, and the event remains unexplained. Skyward surprise. One day, the sky put on an unexpected performance. A massive cloud appeared, trailing long streaks of smoke. But this wasn't just any cloud. It was a UFO in disguise. Suddenly, a glowing orb shot in from the distance. Moving at incredible speed, it dove straight into the cloud-like UFO, and the two merged into one. As they combined, black smoke burst out, and the object streaked away at lightning speed. In the blink of an eye, the entire scene, cloud, orb, and smoke, vanished. This alien disappearing act left the sky empty, but filled everyone's mind with wild space theories. Ancient anomaly. Locals exploring an abandoned site witnessed something unexpected. While recording the area, they spotted a long, floating object in the sky. Its design didn't resemble anything familiar. As they watched, the top of the craft suddenly opened, releasing a smaller object that shot into the sky. It seemed as if the visitor had completed its mission and returned, leaving its UFO shell behind. It's curious how aliens fit into such a tiny object. Maybe they're much smaller than we imagine. What do you think? Sunny spectacle. Have you ever seen the sun moving across the sky in a way it shouldn't? Some people in Mexico did, and it caught them completely off guard. A bright, disc-shaped object hovered silently above them. It wasn't an airplane. Planes don't glow in vibrant colors. The way it moved defied all logic. Maybe aliens took inspiration from the sun and decided to create their own version of it. One thing's for sure. The onlookers were lucky their second sun didn't explode. Earth's skies. In Tucson, a peaceful day took a strange turn when locals spotted something unusual above a citrus farm in an area called Lules. A black ring appeared out of nowhere. It wasn't an ordinary cloud. It was a large, dark circle floating in the sky. Some witnesses quickly captured photos and videos of the bizarre sight. But to clear up any mystery, it wasn't anything supernatural. It was simply smoke released from an electric transformer. London's nighttime. On June 22, 2024, Londoners witnessed an eerie scene against the glow of the full moon. But something else was in the sky. What is that? That's odd. An unidentified flying object appeared, not hovering, but drifting steadily across the night sky. A strange, massive wire seemed to stretch across the moon's surface, raising countless questions. With so many witnesses, it was hard to dismiss. Someone had to be behind it. There wasn't a shred of doubt among onlookers. This was something out of the ordinary, possibly from another dimension. Nighttime giant. One evening, a visitor had an unforgettable experience. A huge, black, disc-shaped object appeared overhead. Its size was overwhelming, larger than anything he had ever seen in the sky. He knew right away. This was a UFO, an alien craft. It moved silently, gliding over him like a shadow in the night. Fortunately, it didn't stop. The strange part: small figures were falling from the spaceship. It kept moving until it disappeared from sight. What happened to those figures? No one knows. Hopefully, they're safe. Serbian sighting. An unusual event unfolded in Serbia when a man was filming in his neighborhood. Out of nowhere, two bright orbs appeared in the distance. They were small, one glowing blue, the other orange. It looked like they were playing a game of hide-and-seek, appearing and disappearing at the same time. Trying to make sense of the strange sight, the man speculated that the orbs might be demonic. But no one could say for sure whether they were supernatural or if there was an entirely different explanation for their presence. Philadelphia's flying mystery. In Philadelphia, a stargazer captured something unbelievable on his phone. What started as a peaceful night of watching the stars turned into an unexpected event. The video revealed a strange object, appearing to be a spaceship, zipping across the sky at incredible speed. It seemed as if a battle was unfolding. Green laser beams were targeting the UFO. But somehow, the craft dodged every shot, escaping unscathed. Chennai's sky visitor. On August 19, 2024, Chennai's sky had an unusual guest. A mysterious object hovered silently above the hills. At first, it remained motionless, as if waiting for something. Then, it slowly drifted away. People across Chennai saw it, its neon green lights glowing against the dark sky. The solid-looking craft seemed uncertain, perhaps its pilot searching for the right path. It was an extraterrestrial vehicle, and, who knows, it might return one day for another unexpected visit. Airborne encounter. A pilot was flying his plane high in the sky, scanning the view ahead when something unexpected happened. A black, disc-shaped object was approaching from the front. It was moving rapidly and smoothly through the air. It didn't resemble any drone. Then it hit him. He had just come face to face with an alien spacecraft, seemingly taking a joyride. Caribbean curiosity. On July 13, 2024, people in Aruba and Venezuela witnessed something extraordinary. This wasn't just another falling star or satellite. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a dazzling UFO suddenly appeared. It darted across the sky, twisting and turning in impossible ways. Onlookers stopped in their tracks, mesmerized by the strange flying saucer. It lit up the sky like a massive spotlight, moving in loops and zigzags. Where did it come from? What was its purpose? No one knew, but everyone agreed. It was the most astonishing thing they had ever seen in the sky. Mexican mystery. In 2024, a tourist in Mexico was recording the breathtaking mountain landscape when something unusual caught his attention. A small glowing orb appeared in the sky, pulling his focus away from the scenery. It wasn't just hovering, it was descending in a controlled way. As it got closer, he realized this was no ordinary light. Then, just as the strange object dipped behind the mountain, it vanished from sight. Right at that moment, the tourist's camera suddenly shut off, leaving everyone wondering what it was and what secrets it might hold. Italian sighting. In the hills of Italy on May 16, 2024, a hiker's quiet trek took an unexpected turn. He spotted something soaring over distant peaks, too far away to see clearly. Its exact shape was unclear, but its movement stood out. No bird or aircraft moved like that. The hiker watched as the object maneuvered through the mountains with unnatural ease. It looked like something from another world. Perhaps extraterrestrials don't have mountains where they're from, so they visit Earth to enjoy the scenery. Chinese encounter. In a rural part of China, a local on his daily walk saw a disc-shaped object floating nearby. It was just like the ones from movies and stories, an actual UFO hovering in front of him. Its metallic surface gleamed under the sunlight as it hung silently in the air. Then, with no warning, it started to rise. It seemed as if whatever had brought it here was complete, and now the visitors were heading back to their distant world. It was a sight he would never forget. Seattle surprise. One evening in Seattle, a resident was filming the skyline when his camera picked up something unexpected. A fast-moving object streaked through the sky, too quick for the human eye but clear in the footage. Behind the city buildings, it zipped past, moving in a way no plane or helicopter ever could. As it weaved between the high rises, its form became more visible. A sleek, silent craft, unlike anything seen before, appeared briefly before vanishing. The video would soon make headlines. Seattle had an extraterrestrial visitor captured on film. Reporter's revelation. High above a busy city, a reporter stood alongside officials, filming the skyline. Then, something unusual caught their attention. What is that? Behind the towering buildings, a strange object moved. Before they could get a clear view, it vanished in an instant. There it is again! Maybe the beings in the flying saucer didn't like being on camera, which is why they took off the moment they were noticed. The officials, however, weren't about to let them go so easily. They sent a drone after them at lightning speed. But the aliens had no interest in conversation. They disappeared before the drone could catch up. The brief encounter left them with an exclusive story, and a mystery that left everyone wondering. Fading giant. Near a lake, someone looking at the sky spotted something enormous. It was difficult to make out, but it was definitely there. It looked like a spaceship, something not from this world. This massive object was far larger than any aircraft, and hung in the sky without making a sound. Though the sight was blurry, its sheer size suggested it wasn't of human origin. It floated there as if waiting for something, then disappeared, possibly heading back to a place beyond Earth. Strange encounter. A man's peaceful morning walk took an unexpected turn when he neared the trail. Sitting right in his path was a strange figure. It had an elongated skull, a thin, wiry frame, and smooth, grayish skin. It looked like nothing he had ever seen before. The only logical conclusion? This was an alien. Perhaps it had lost contact with its group and was now trying to figure out how to leave this unfamiliar world. The sight of the otherworldly being stayed with him, challenging everything he thought he knew. City visitor. As night fell over the city, workers leaving their offices witnessed something shocking. High up in the sky, a massive object hovered in silence. It wasn't just a handful of people who saw it. Drivers stuck in traffic also looked up and spotted the strange craft. There were too many witnesses for it to be dismissed. Everyone who saw it knew they weren't looking at something ordinary. The large craft seemed to be observing the city below. Maybe it was just passing through, or perhaps it would return with more of its kind. So, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.